Thank you for tuning in to the SUTV News YouTube channel. Today I am alongside Noreaga Goff. He works here at Shippensburg University at the Student Success Center on campus located in Mowrey Hall. So can you just give us a little bit of a background of your progress here at Shippensburg University, like your journey?
Yeah, originally I'm from York, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from here. I started my academic journey here at Ship in 2017. I went through the Academic Success Program, which is like a summer bridge program here at Ship. And then I was admitted and onboarded as a student. I declared my major as social work. I graduated with my bachelor's of social work in the spring of 2022. And then immediately I applied for a dual master's program. So I finished in May of 2024. I have a master's of social work and I have a master's of public administration. And then in the midst of being in my master's program, that was kind of how I matriculated into my role with retention and student success here as a full-time staff member as well. So.
Yep. And I think when we were talking the other day, you also said that you're currently in the process of starting another part of your education?
Yeah, I wanted to further my education. Ultimately, my goal is to, push the needle a little further in terms of being an educational administrator. I have thoughts about becoming a professor and things of that nature. So when you're looking to embark on something like that, makes more sense for you to get a PhD or an EDD, and so I started applying to doc programs. So I was accepted to quite a few, but I decided that I would go to Westchester for policy planning and administration, and then my concentration is still higher education. So I'm kind of staying in the same realm, but just looking to grow and expand.
Yeah, so when we were talking the other day, Nori had told me that he is working with G-Blues, which is the Grace B Luhrs Elementary School here on campus. And you had mentioned that you, before you had graduated, you had, raised some money of your own and had given it to the elementary school for underprivileged kids to buy books at the book fair.
Yes.
Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, when I was in my undergrad and I was doing my social work program, they wanted us to get 40 hours of volunteer work within kind of like the social work field. And for me at that point, I tried different places in terms of filling out applications, and then I decided I would do my volunteer work at G-Blues. And so I would go a few times a week, and I had 3 students that were assigned to me, and what we would do is we would go to recess, and then we would eat lunch together. I'd help them with homework assignments, make sure they're getting things done, things of that nature. So that was kind of how I found out, kind of what G-Blues is about, and participated in that regard. And then from there, Shippensburg's social work department and G-Blues, they share the same building. So in order to get to class, you kind of have to go through the elementary school, depending on which side of the building you're going in. And so I happened to walk past the students and the book fair quite often. And then it just kind of took me back to when I was a child. And I remember, not having the financial capital to have the funds where I could get books and supplies at a book fair. And I remember what that felt like the shame and the embarrassment. And so I was like, well, I went home that day and I thought about how can I contribute in a way that helps students not feel like that as often, to the best of my ability, in a way that fits into like my means and things like that. Because at that point I was an undergrad, didn't have a full-time staff position, so money was not coming in as desirable during that time. But anyways, I was like, well, I started thinking about just some figures that I like around the world, and I'm a big sports guy, and so I follow the Los Angeles Lakers, and LeBron James is, one of the star basketball players for there. But he started elementary school in Akron, Ohio, where he's from, and it's called I Promise. And he helps students kind of prepare for college and things of that nature. And I tried to use what he did and apply that to Shippensburg on a much smaller scale, of course, with the intention to grow and expand and see how far we can take it. But this was spring of last year, so spring of 2024, and I walked to the book fair. I met the librarian, her name is Elizabeth, and then I went and met the principal. Her name is Holly Garner. And after I got to know Holly, we connected a few times. I'd go in, sit in her office on a one-on-one basis, and we would talk about how we were going to make this work and bring it to fruition. She was amazing. She had great ideas, and she's very bright. And so the very first semester, that spring, I decided that I would just donate money from my own personal account because I was still in the process of trying to think everything through, and it was such a challenge. But I donated a couple $100s from my personal account. I partnered with SU Foundation. They helped allocate the funds, so that was amazing. And we served about, I want to say, maybe 10 students, between 8 and 10 students. That was nice. Part of the initiative is that every student is required to at least purchase one textbook, and then from there we can look at other resources and playful things like posters and cool erasers and all that great stuff too. So that was the very first semester, and then last semester in the spring we partnered with Nancy Grayson Elementary School, which is also in Shippensburg University, and so we kept it G Blues, and then we branched off from there and added on some students at Nancy Grayson, went over, helped them shop, helped them get some supplies. And at that point, I posted a GoFundMe, kind of wrote down what my initiative was and what my overall mission is. And a lot of individuals donated money. A lot of philanthropists were willing to participate, and we ended up raising over $1,000, so that got distributed amongst those students. And then here we are back here for the spring again of 2025. This time we're continuing to do G Blues, of course, because that's who it started with. And then we have an additional elementary school in the Shippensburg area, which is Jamesburg Elementary. And so we're going to help some students there as well.
Can you give a little bit of an insight to the people watching this and myself and the crew here, how people can support your mission? You mentioned the GoFundMe. Where can they find this? What can they do?
Yeah, so I posted my GoFundMe on my LinkedIn, my professional LinkedIn account, which is my full name, Noreaga Goff. And so I like building connections there. I love the idea of LinkedIn because it's just has a professional baseline, and I believe to be true. Most things on there are legit, so that's a great way. I can be contacted at my professional email, which is nogoff@ship.edu. I'm not opposed to giving out my personal cell phone number. There's multiple different outreach methods that individuals can use to involve themselves, but I think those are a few that I could name off the top of my head.
Yeah. To date, do you have a number, or if you have it on the top of your head, how many kids you think you've helped through this?
I think I've served, I want to say the very first semester we did between 8 and 10. Then the following semester, which was last semester, we branched off and helped additional students at Nancy Grayson. So I believe we did 8 at G Blues. I want to say we did 8 at Nancy Grayson. So I'd say somewhere between early to mid 20s. And then this semester we're looking to just continue to grow that and push it further for sure.
Yeah. In the long run, what would you say is your main goal in terms of, helping kids? Obviously, I'm sure you want to, help as many kids as possible. Mm-hmm. But as you see this keeps progressing and you're getting more support, what is your lifelong goal?
My ultimate goal at this point is to see how far I can take it. I've never tried anything like this, but since the beginning of it, it seemed to have at least a little bit of traction. You know, people on social media support and share, donate. People reach out to me personally and give their congrats and things of that nature, or ask questions in terms of ways that they can be a part of the mission. So that's always amazing. I know right now it's kind of a local thing. I haven't expanded much beyond Shippensburg, but I think a lot of it has to do with just trying to sort everything out and make it make sense and move correctly mostly. But ultimately, I would like to eventually grow county-wide, and then see if we can even take it as far as making it a statewide thing too. So what I don't want to do is put any limitations on it, just because, you know, I want it to go through the ceiling. I don't want there to be a ceiling or cap, but yeah, definitely to see just how far we can take it.
Yeah. Well, you seem to have the right determination. Obviously, you have the right, work ethic to do it. I'm sure all the parents are very thankful for you. I'm sure the people at the elementary school are thankful for you. I'm thankful for you. It is a great thing that you're doing. I just wanted to thank you for joining me today, and hopefully we can get this message out and the group, the GoFundMe out to as much people as possible. But thank you for joining me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.